Good morning, everybody, and very warm welcome to everybody watching wherever you may be in the world. My name is Chad Hobson, and I'm going to be your naturalist for this morning's live at the Waterhole. I do trust everybody's having a lovely Wednesday morning so far, and what better way to start it just like we started yesterday with a beautiful big herd of elephants. They seem like they really are enjoying this. Waterhole here at Jamala does seem like it's going to be another scorcher of a day today. And also just a reminder that this is a live and interactive show, so please do interact with me, send through your questions and comments. You can also subscribe on our website, or you can join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. And I'll gladly answer all the questions you may have bush related. How incredible is all the dust that those two elephant bulls are kicking up as they're pushing one another around. Oh, elephants always make my day. It's an incredible way to start. Have a look at those three elephants just in the water. They really are literally fully submerged. Elizabeth Beauchamp, you saying, hello, Chad, ready for Waterhole fun? I think these elephants are one step ahead of us already. They already are having Waterhole fun. I mean, look at that. They couldn't be having more fun if they tried. Oh. Whenever I see elephants like pushing one another around and things like that in the water, it always brings back childhood memories. I don't know if everybody knows the game, but it's called King of the Castle. Or King of the Step. Sorry, not King of the Castle. King of the Step. And as kids, we used to play it, and you had to get to the top of the steps, and then you had to try and defend the steps. So whenever I see elephants pushing and shoving one another around, it always brings back those childhood memories of mine. They are very, very entertaining. Yeah, Grungy asking, have I ever observed an elephant that seemed not to enjoy the water? Sure. Like, I have seen elephants that like don't swim, but I mean it's not like they don't really enjoy the water. The elephants being very water dependent. I mean, a lot of them do enjoy the water, but not all of them will swim like this. I've definitely observed it. Observed it. So apologies for my English there. I've definitely observed elephants not being so playful in the water or not swimming in the water. It's often the older females. They don't often take a swim. It's often the youngsters within the herd, and then I've also seen lots of elephant bulls swimming before. But I wouldn't say any elephants don't enjoy the water because, I mean, being water dependent, they sort of have to really enjoy the water, and also like to cool themselves off, they use the water. So it would be quite a tough life for these elephants if they didn't enjoy the water. Marissa, thanks very much. I do appreciate it. Saying hi, Chad. You have such a delightful giggle. It makes me want to smile. Thanks for keeping me company while at work. It's only my pleasure. Thank you for watching while you are at work, and I'm glad I can put a smile on your face. I mean, these elephants are definitely putting a smile on my face.
This is On Safari. Now remember, this is live and interactive, so we'd love to hear from you.
To be having these incredible experiences in this wild underwater forest.
It was just one of those things which I don't think I'll ever see again in my life.
Thanks for joining us on our Sunrise Safari.
So the reason I was pointing out the elephant's trunk on their head when it was suckling is all the other elephants when they're drinking, you'll see they'll use their trunk. They'll sip up the water in their trunk and then they'll spray it into their mouth. Whereas when they're young, they won't use their trunk to drink water or drink milk. They'll use straight their mouth. So even when you see like young elephants go into the water holes, excuse me, you'll often see them like literally put their whole trunk and face in the water. And it's just because they don't really have 100% control over their trunk at that time. So it's much easier for them just to sip the water straight into their mouths. It can be quite entertaining to see that. And it'll be interesting here to see. I mean, most of the elephants have gotten out. There are one or two in the water still. But you'll find as soon as the matriarch is ready to move on, she'll often um, either like grumble a little bit or like a little rumble, and then they'll all start to walk. Or she might signal through vibrations and things like that for these elephants to say, okay, we've had enough now. It's time to move on and continue. Actually, still does seem like there's quite a few elephants that are still in the water. And I never actually noticed how deep this waterhole here at Jamala was. Like, when you look at it from this perspective, you think, okay, it's not too deep. But now, I mean, seeing the elephants swim, it's pretty deep. I mean, an elephant like that size probably stands 2 meters or so. And so, I mean, they're almost fully submerged when they're standing. I can only imagine it's maybe like 1.5 meters deep, which is a pretty deep waterhole. I know also the other day, one of the viewers did ask if hippos were able to spend time in this waterhole. And I did actually, I think I said probably not, just because of how shallow it is. But looking at the depth of this water, I'm sure a hippo would be able to spend time within this water, but I don't really think it's going to want to because I can't really move around too much. Um, it's just going to almost have to stay in one spot. So I don't think it will be a good place for it. Giovanni is saying, as you always say, an elephant baby a day keeps the doctor away. 100%. And here we've got lots of little baby elephants, so they're definitely going to be able to keep us away from the doctors for a good amount of time. Bev, what you saying? You once saw a video of a young elephant that almost drowned. She had to be encouraged to go back into the water over time. I mean, yeah, for sure. If there's something like traumatic that happens like that, then I don't blame them for not wanting to go back into the water. I have seen it before where elephants were crossing a river, and the majority of the herd had crossed or were crossing, and one of the babies decided no, it wants to go back to the same side that they started crossing from. And it crossed back, and then the mom had to go back and fetch it, and it also didn't want to, cross to where they were going just because the current was quite strong, and it had to be encouraged to get into the water and get to the other side. So I mean, it's not like they hate it. I think it's just it's a little bit, can be, I think, maybe overwhelming for such a small elephant to be in the water, especially if it's got a current and things like that. Beautiful how big that elephant bull is to the right. It makes that female on the left-hand side of it look tiny. Beautiful, big, girthy tusks. Even like have a look. I know the one next to it is a little bit younger, but have a look at the tusks. I mean, sorry, the head. How much bigger the males' heads are compared to the females. Pretty incredible. Kim Faustino, happy February 7th. You're saying it's 5:14 p.m. Here in the Philippines. All right. Happy 7th of February to you, Kim. Thanks very much for joining live at the Waterhole morning. Do appreciate that.
Out in the wild, life moves fast. To capture the action, you've got to be in the right spot at the wrong time. Now, incredible animal behavior, selected from amazing amateur and professional footage, to reveal the secret lives of animals in motion. This is raw nature, caught in the act.
Kev, you're asking, do elephants have a preference for the ripeness of marulas? So you're referring to the marula trees and their fruits. I've seen elephants feed on ripe marulas, like overripe marulas, like almost rotten marulas, and not ripe marulas. So, I mean, elephants, they don't really have a preference. They will feed on any sort of type of marula. It gives them pretty much the same nutrients. But for us as humans, we prefer the more ripe marulas. They are just a lot more sweet. The flesh is nice and soft in order for us to be able to eat them. Starbuck, you asking if it's relaxing for the elephants to flap their ears, or is it purely functional? So, I mean, elephants, they do flap their ears for a purpose. So it's to cool themselves off. If you have a look at the backs of the elephant's ears, there's lots and lots and lots of veins, and it's quite thin skin that's covering them. And so when they flap their ears, they actually will cool down their whole body because a lot of the blood will flow through those veins, and then it will be able to cool their whole body. So there is functions to them flapping their ears, and often you'll see them even throwing water on their backs of their ears. That's just to keep them cool for a lot longer. And you can imagine if they throw water on there and then put their ears out, there's a little bit of a breeze. It can really cool them down. There are some people that think if an elephant is flapping its ears that it is like mad or angry, and it's not. So often, if an elephant is mad or angry, what they'll do is they'll lift their heads up and they'll keep their ears out to try and make them look much bigger than they actually are, almost to intimidate you. One little happy family all gathered around drinking water. it is still very entertaining, even after 10 years of being in the bush, to just watch elephants having the greatest time. Now he's found himself a little island. Martin 1 Jr., you're asking, are there instances where elephants take up too much water from water holes for other animals because of their size? So I definitely think, like, if there's a water hole that's quite small and elephants come in, they say quite a large herd, and they drink the water, they can often finish the water. Also, like, say it's a natural water hole, that's often then what will happen. But even like if elephants come into a water hole and they splash around in it and there's not too much water, a lot of that water will then be taken out of that water hole and it can then definitely dry up. So I would say there have been instances where elephants drink too much and don't leave any for the other animals.
Fancy playing safari snaps? Or showing off your photo skills in fun competitions? How about sneak peeks of our brand new camera spots and live chats with fellow Africam fans? Well, Africam All Access has got your back. Just head to Africam's YouTube channel, hit the join button and select Africam All Access. You'll unlock Africam premium website perks and all the VIP benefits of our YouTube memberships.
I love all these incredible noises that we are able to hear here live at the Waterhole. Sure. Elephant clearly isn't happy with something. Ella, you're asking, do elephants get toe fungi? So, to be honest with you, I've never heard of elephants getting toe fungi before. I have, however, heard of elephants having like their toenails crack, um, and that sort of thing. But I've never heard of elephants like getting fungus in their toes. Maybe like they might if that toenail cracks and they get a bit of a disease, or not a disease, like a bacteria in that wound, then maybe it could cause a little bit of fungus growth. But I haven't heard of that happening before. Seems like there's just a constant flow of elephants once again today. They just keep coming. Safari Man, you asking what recent elephant studies have I found interesting recently? So, sure. To be honest with you, I haven't really read too many interesting studies that have been done recently about elephants. To be honest, but just something fascinating about elephants. Like I really enjoy the social behaviors of animals. So I mean, just all the different social structures. I mean, elephants being a matriarchal society, and just watching um, the behaviors within a herd. I really enjoy animal behavior. That's one of my favorite things. So watching elephants interact, watching different elephants interact with other elephants, watching hyenas greet one another can be another interesting thing to see. They're also a matriarchal system, so the females are the group leaders. Martin One Jr. So elephants, I mean, they don't really have a greeting ritual like hyenas do, but often when, say, for instance, two elephant bulls come together, often what they do is it's almost like to size one another up. They'll put their heads together, um, and they'll like as soon as the one's tusks touch the other one, then it's almost like over. They then okay, that one's bigger than the other one, and then often the younger one will then, or the smaller one, will then often just move away. But I mean, they don't have a ritual like the hyenas do.
Welcome to Destination Safari WildEarth travel show that showcases luxury safari destinations. We explore the intimate thatched safari lodge located here in a valley lined by indigenous vegetation in the northern section of Amakhala Game Reserve.
That elephant thinks that it's a hippo and it can just lie in the water. Wonder, you're asking what are the chances of crocodile discovering this patch? Would they walk overland looking for places to swim? 100%. So crocodiles, they will move from waterhole to waterhole, just depending on food availability and the amount of water and things like that within the waterhole. How beautiful is that? The elephant's moving right underneath the camera. But Wonder, the crocodiles, they can move huge distances even on land. I mean, it might not be the easiest for them to move, but they are able to move long distances to get to different areas to go find different water. I mean, especially if there's no food available in the waterhole that they're in, they'll definitely then move waterhole. So sometimes even in game reserves, like you'll see along the road, when they'll often use the road because it's the path of least resistance. So they'll use the road, and you often see then the tail drag mark along the road of a crocodile. And sometimes you can even follow it to the next waterhole, and you'll find that crocodile then within the water. So the elephants, they have an extremely good sense of smell. I read an article the other day that said elephants can smell water from up to 30 to 40 kilometers away. So these elephants, even being here, they all know where the next waterhole is or which direction they're going to have to go to find the next water. And often you'll find that elephants literally will move from waterhole to waterhole. So, I mean, once they're done here, they'll definitely need to go and feed just to regain a lot of the energy that they've used at a waterhole like this. And they'll then continuously feed in the direction of the next waterhole. And it might take them a couple of hours to get there, but that's going to be their end goal, the next waterhole. Elephants are very, very water dependent. So they need water in order to survive. If you ever look at the top left of screen, it seems like there's another large herd of elephants coming down to the water. It'd be nice to see, because they're definitely not part of the same herd. I mean, this herd's been here for a little while now, and that herd's just arriving. So it'll be quite interesting to see the interaction that they do have. We've been speaking the last couple of days about how elephants aren't territorial, but there might be sort of a little bit of a standoff between them, but let's wait and see what does happen. So there has been like not really a standoff, but you can see like the behavior has changed a little bit from when this other herd of elephants did arrive. But it's also got to do with this elephant bull here. And Cherry, you're asking if elephants have contact calls. So they do. They would be able to contact call one another, but I think they call them infrasonic calls. If that's um, so, that's how they'll communicate like long distances to try and call other elephants. But those calls are at such a low frequency that we are unable to hear them. Sure. A lot of the elephant communication, Cherry, is done by um, vibrations in the ground. So we won't even be able to feel those vibrations. It's quite incredible. Like sometimes you'll hear a little rumble and then they'll all start to move, but other times you literally don't hear anything. And all of a sudden, all the elephants are up and moving in the same direction at the same time. And it can be a little bit scary. You're like, sure, what happened? What's going on? But it's the elephants communicating to one another via those little rumbles. Marissa is saying that if you were perhaps sleeping instead of working, you're now wide awake after that trumpet. It was pretty loud in my ear also, don't worry. It's amazing. You can often hear that trumpet from quite a distance away, and sometimes like if elephants are in distress, they'll give a similar trumpet to that. And if you are in like a big fire reserve, it might be worth even going to investigate, because if they do see a predator, leopard or lion, something like that, they will start to trumpet and chase of that predator. So it is definitely worthwhile going and just having a look see in and around that area. Looked like that might have been the youngster that was trumpeting at the elephant bull. Another big. There's lots and lots of elephant bulls here today coming down to the water at Jamala. That's why there might be the tension might be a little bit high around the waterhole here today, just because there's a constant flow of elephant bulls. And if these elephant bulls were in must, I think the story would be much, much different. But they don't seem like they are in must. They've just all come down towards the waterhole at similar times. And the reason I say that it would be a lot different if they were in must is just because then they would be chasing the females around. They'll be chasing the other males around, trying to then mate with some of the females that are in estrus. And they just start to put it lightly, to cause havoc in and amongst the herds.
WildEarth Travel, in association with Wandering Through, is offering some exclusive, privately guided safaris in 2024. James is taking a trip into the famed woodlands of the mysterious White Lion, Ngala Private Game Reserve, in July. Steve and Cedric will lead a safari to Chitwa Chitwa in November. To book, email travel@wildearth.tv or go to the website for more information. We are looking forward to seeing you on safari.
It definitely is a pool party here at Jamala. That elephant on the right hand side was so camouflaged that I didn't even see it there when it was lying down in the water, covered in mud. Sure, there's lots and lots of elephants coming down. We start to focus on one small little herd and then we move away. How incredible also, there's that buffalo bull's in the middle of the water. He's come to join the party. He's the only one of the buffaloes that was able to get the invite to the Waterhole party here at Jamala. The buffalo's getting in on the entertainment now also. Rolling around. Maybe he's trying to fit in, trying to make some friends, because when that buffalo bull will be spending time alone, he would have either been kicked out of the large herd of buffalo, or he also might not have been able to keep up with the herd moving such a fast pace and huge distances. So then he'll be by himself. Sometimes you do find them in bachelor herds, buffaloes. You can find them in groups of sometimes 2 or 3, or the most buffalo bulls I think I've ever seen together was 20. I thought it was a herd from a distance, and we got there and it was all male. So, I mean, they will often come together to form little bachelor groups, because a lot of the time they spend around water, as well as where there's a lot of grass close to the water, just so that they don't have to move too huge distances, because they are getting quite old, so and it's tough for them to move around. A buffalo bull is literally just on its back.
This is On Safari. In this particular case, it looks like he's made a coalition with his sons.
I'm sure this afternoon is going to be a fantastic drive, as always.
Now remember, this is live and interactive, so we'd love to hear from you.
a social structure that they do have. Oh, we got a long-billed cromback calling in the background. So it is now coming up to the time where we do open up all the other locations. Thanks to Africams for coming on board with the WildEarth team and allowing us access to all your beautiful locations throughout Southern and East Africa. We do really appreciate it. Thanks once again for that.